Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, this is the walkthrough for hole number 3 of the Euro Champions Tournament Pro Division. So we're going to be using a extra mile 7 and a Kingmaker. Initially, I'm just trying to figure out kind of where I'm at as far as the range of the club goes, what sort of reference points I can utilize, what sort of spin I want to use. So just kind of checking things out. So I'm going to use a Katana ball as one of my reference points, so a P2 max. So I'm setting up a P2 max with the red ring touching the left rough. I have max topspin, 2 left spin, switching back to my Kingmaker ball, playing this one 10% elevation. We hit great left, so let's see if this gets us into any trouble. Still plenty of clearance from the left rough on the initial landing. No crazy runouts, not going too long, not going too far left, so perfectly well in the fairway. 355 yards. Let's move on to the approach shots. So going into it, I know I'm going to play a rough bump with a long iron, but one thing I'm going to kind of change up, and I'll talk about it at the end of the shot specifically, is potentially which long iron I'm using, and then I might even need to change my drive up a little bit. So let me pause real quick. Ideally, with this rough bump, I would have plus yardage at the cup. So I want to be measuring my second shot with plus yardage at the cup. And if we go back to, if I can get the, if you see as I move past the hole, I've got, +3. So basically like 0 yards would be kind of in line with where I'm at, but like at the edge of the bunker. So, probably a good 7-8 rings past, 7-8 Goliath rings past the cup. So initially that tells me I want to drive a little bit shorter, probably even a little bit left, although I hit great left off the tees, so the line might be okay, but I want to drive the ball a little bit shorter. So I'm initially thinking I'm going to do less topspin going forward, but I don't want to go crazy either. I don't want to be so far away that my adjustment is getting so much bigger. So another thing that I'm going to try to change up later on in my next attempt is the club that I'm going to use. So I know I've got other various clubs at my disposal with shorter power ratings, and like I said, I'm kind of about 8 rings past, so I might want to find something that is a good, like 8 to 10 yards shorter, so I can tweak my drive a little bit so I'm more left and short, but then also change the power rating of my long iron so that the plus yardage starts sooner. So initially I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll move to like the backbone or something. I have to take a look at what the level of my clubs are on each account. But backbone, which when maxed out is 127 yards, might be a good option for getting us in that sweet spot. But let's go ahead and just continue watching the rough bump with the Goliath. So I'm checking my range, and I'm a little bit before mid-range. So max was just past that bunker line. Min was basically right before the water. So kind of in between that would be roughly the fringe, I would say. So I'm a little bit before that. Trying to find a nice landing spot so you can kind of see the little glitch out there. So I want to play it a little bit further back. Looking for a good smooth rollout, kind of going forward and back because my elevation is going to be changing. So I want to make sure I'm still staying in line depending on where I land. Playing this one at 0%. I actually played it at mid-club, which, like I said, I know I'm a little bit before mid-club, and we're going to see how this misses. The landing is really good. The rollout's really good, but I missed right, again, because I over-adjusted. I knew I wasn't at mid. I was starting to run a little short of time, so I just played mid numbers, 0% elevation, but I came in a little bit to the right, and not necessarily hot. Let's take a look real quick again at the roll pass. So it's not like it's super hot. If it's in line, it's probably gonna drop, but what it tells me with how much I rolled past and the angle of the wind as I'm adjusting it, if I were to have adjusted, you know, a little bit less than that mid club. So if I just guesstimated, and I don't use the slider, but if I guesstimated, for those of you that use a slider, maybe that had been around 40% slider, maybe 40% would have been spot on. I still would have had plenty of speed to get to the hole, and it would have definitely been more in line. But again, we're gonna tweak this hole a little bit more to try to get the drive a little more left and short. Change the long iron, again, probably to a backbone, because I'm trying to get plus yardage at the pin. And once I have plus yardage, that'll really help me dial in the shot, because I'll basically try to set up in the same position in the rough every time with the same spin. And then depending on the plus yardage at the cup, I'll know, you know, if I've got, say, and this is just an example, don't use these numbers necessarily. If I've got +3 at the cup, maybe that, you know, correlates to max plus 0% elevation at X slider. So if I've got +4, I know I need, you know, I'm hitting it a little bit further, so I need to increase my slider percentage a little bit more, or I need to add to my adjustment a little bit more. But getting plus yardage at the cup will be hugely beneficial in this hole for dialing in the rough bump. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your rounds.